Hey everyone, Donnie here with Paleo Track Survival. I am out in the hill country of Texas. I'm doing some training out here with some folks. We'll be out here for about another week and a half. This is a great area to conduct any sort of survival training. The hill country offers quite a few resources that are really at your fingertips as far as water and food and the different vegetation that you can use for friction fire. The amount of wildlife that is just crawling all over the place from wild pigs to turkeys to snakes, you name it. It seems to be thriving in the hill country. So come along with me. I'm going to go collect some of these resources and show you how I put them to good use. All right. Hey everyone, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed that walk. I sure did, and I'm sure you got a little bit of a taste of some of the great resources that are here in Hill Country, Texas. One of the things I want to discuss first is when you saw me in that dry riverbed was I was out looking for some sort of stone that I could use as a nappable material, a stone that I could actually control the direction of the flake that is removed from the stone, and then use that flake as a tool for, as itself, or I can actually use the larger stone as some sort of multi-tool. When I say primitive multi-tool, I mean, to grind, to hammer, to chop, to slice, to do the whole gamut of things. So when I was out there, I found this. I don't know what the exact type of stone is, but I can get some decent flakes to come off of it, which only increase my survivability while out in the wild. Again, it's finding the correct stones and how they maneuver and pop off these larger stones to create that multi-tool. That's kind of really what I'm going for here. And it's going to take some chipping. It's going to take a little bit of time, but everything I need to do is not for a rush. It's about the experience. So pull a couple edges off, pull a couple flakes off, and eventually I can get this down to a nice hand axe, primitive multi-tool, as I like to call it. I also found another piece which might deliver a little bit better. Now when I'm out there, I always try and sample the rocks when I'm out there, so it's less you got to carry it. What I found in this guy was it had a pretty decent formula to it. The problem is here it's hammer stones that seem to be the issue. Here's a couple microliths, a couple microflakes, but I can definitely reduce this down to a manageable working edge. I could use this particular piece. This looks like a piece of chert for maybe a piece of root beer chert. You can kind of see that it definitely holds a sharper edge compared to this other stone over here. But over some time, decent flakes, starting to create that little that little edge that I would need to actually biface this out, which fortunately kind of already is. Quick tools, right? And from those quick tools, I get more tools, small little blades that I can use for skinning, gutting, a variety of things. I could hap these onto arrows. They are razor sharp. And then from that, I can also use this as a larger hand axe. Good. Perfect. There we go. Nice. So now, just a few short minutes, I was able to create a nice hand axe. Decent working edge. I can, refine it down just a little bit more. Get something that's really going to work well. I get a nice smooth backing on the portion I can hold with my hand. Got that chopping front. Now, this is material that's ideal. And surprisingly, in the hill country out here, there's quite a bit of chert-like materials that you can get a pretty decent edge. Some of them are a little bit more rougher, and as you can see, this one's definitely easier to control. This one still produces me a decent working edge, but this is the ideal material that I'm actually looking to find and then utilize. So, two great stones. Very fortunate to find this. Even more fortunate to find this. So, one good thing typically leads to another. Moving on, what I also found was a nice tall piece of yucca. I think you saw me pulling this out of a yucca plant. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to turn this into a hand drill set for friction fire. And I believe yucca to be one of the easiest and one of the best materials to use for a hand drill set. It lights exceptionally quick. When it's dead, it's almost, I swear, it's like striking a match. You can really create some nice dust from it and get that ember going relatively quick. About a minute and a half, you should be able to create an entire ember and then eventually blow it into fire. But a couple of the key important things to pay attention is that when you are using, where I just put my little hand axe, when you're using yucca, there's a couple different ends. Clearly there's the taller, thinner end, and then you have your bottom end. Typically this bottom end is a good end to use for your hearthboard or your baseboard, and this taller end is the end that you can use for your actual spindle. And you can snap a piece of yucca relatively easy, but I recommend you score it. You got yourself a good hand axe, score those edges all the way around. And then you can snap it right over your knee. And what you're going to do is you're going to prevent those long splintering flakes coming off the side and really messing everything up. Take your hand axe, refine it down. Now you've got the beginning portions of your overall spindle. It's always good to get to the very top and kind of test that flexibility. If you find that it's a little bit too wobbly, it's probably dead. Just give it a little snap at the top. Use that as some kindling later on, and then you got the beginning portions of your hand drill. So this is this. Same thing with that base. Score around the edges. You might have to double up on this, go around it once or twice. Pop it. Now you've got your baseboard. Hi everyone, as you clearly saw when I was out there, there's a variety of wild edibles. Now what I did not do is collect everything that I saw by any means, but one thing I did see, which I always find is to be a rare treat whenever you can find them, is some wild chanterelles. And these are an excellent source of vitamin C. They taste exceptionally kind of like citrusy, and they're pretty good for the most part. I can't complain. These are all over the area, and one thing that you know, kind of makes any sort of adventure in the wilds a little bit more enlightening is, you know, when you find these, you're typically going to find other animals, because a lot of other animals like to eat these as well. Specifically in the hill country where we're at is pigs, those wild hogs that seem to be roaming around. So these, you can definitely eat these. They are 100% safe. Clearly check and make sure they're not rotten or laid with bugs and all sorts of creepy crawlies. But give them a rinse in a stream or something along those lines. Throw them in a cup of tea, boil them into a stew or some sort of soup, or you can eat them simply as is. Absolutely delicious. You can't go wrong with them. But so, wild chanterelles. So one of the other things that you guys saw me collect out there was definitely some juniper bark. This is a great resource for making Tinder bundles, and you know, the easiest way to make a Tinder bundle is you know, take some of this bark, wrap it around your hand, make a little basket, little nest out of it, a little bit of a loop. I like to call this, gonna be my burn bark. Feel like it's not long enough, do it again. You can double up. And I'm sure, as you guys saw, that I did not continuously take bark from the same tree. It's very, very important if you see some bark, juniper bark or any sort of bark, that you take what is needed, but you don't take it from the same tree, because it could actually kill it. So once I have my little basket, my little donut here, I'm going to take the rest of these and just kind of break them up. I'm going to kind of pretend I'm wringing some laundry, washing some clothes here. Take all these things, create a little bit more surface area, create some more fire, or excuse me, surface area, so that that ember can grab onto it and slowly go into fire. Just give it a little rub, and you can see already that that has opened up immensely. Pull some of these bigger pieces out, and then you're going to plop that right down in the middle of your little basket or your nest. Now, to give it one little good squeeze like this, now I essentially have my bird nest. When I have to transfer a coal from a hand drill set or a bow drill set, plop it right in the middle, pinch, squeeze, let the air do its thing, and so you know I have fire. But juniper bark, it's a great resource when you're out in the hill country. That's it. The resources that are available out in the hill country of Texas is really going to increase your survivability and your overall productivity when you're out there. Being, having fire making materials and being able to extend that fire, having cutting resources, having edibles, and then even what I'm underneath right now is one of these juniper trees, offers a certain degree of shelter. Clearly I'm not out of the wind, but this allows me to use this overall tree and its proximity to the ground and create a wind barrier or some sort of protective measure for a shelter purpose. So down and dirty, when you're operating in certain environments, get familiar with what is out there, what resources are there, and understand how to use them, how to harvest them properly, and then how to actually turn them into a secondary resource for you. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. But again, I'm Donnie from Paleo Survival. We'll see you around.